After dropping game one by a score of 4-1, the Sault Cougars are looking for a bounce-back game here today. Good everyone, and welcome to Sault College Cougars hockey. My name is Mike Armitage, along with Jaden Brennan. We'll have the play-by-play for today's game between the Sault College Cougars and the visiting Minnesota Golden Gophers. Minnesota coming into today's game playing 24 games, 15 wins, 7 losses, and 1 tie. Sault College Cougars, 23 games played, 12 wins, and 11 losses. And let's go down to ice level at this time for playing of both the American and Canadian national anthems. Minnesota will start today's game with the line of Keegan Johnson, Tyler Bishop, number 14, Luke Myers. On defense, number 18, Cooper Cerrone, and number 26, Caleb Engelbrecht. And starting a goal for Minnesota will be number 31, Owen Peterson. Tanner Burton and the Sault College Cougars will start today's game with the line of Santa Maria, Wood, and Cameron Lemke. On defense, number 4, Anthony Blonda, and the number 7, David Sayal. Starting a goal for your Sault College Cougars today will be number 30, Keenan Marks. Minnesota in their road darks, burgundy red with yellow trim. Sault College Cougars in their home whites with blue trim. Sault College going from left to right. And Minnesota going from right to left. Bishop and Santa Maria on the draw. Here we go, we're underway. Here it's game 2 of the 3-game homestand. On the far side, and that's Engelbrecht trying to get in. That's batted out of the air by number 12. That's Lemke. Cooper Cerrone on the far side to Engelbrecht. Back to Cerrone. Cerrone Slowly coming out of his own zone. Coming through center. He found on the puck. And Caleb Wood will have it for Sault College. Knocked down by Engelbrecht. Just outside the penalty box area. Tail just tossed it up in the air. And that should have been gloved ahead, but they let that one go. Cameron Lemke to Blonda. Blonda coming through center. Caleb Wood just fires it in. Blonda forechecking well, and that's Arneson on the far side. He overskated that. Kovacs almost had a break. Engelbrecht up ahead to Arneson. Peterson on the left side. Poke checked by Liam McDonald. Anthony Blonda stopping. Dylan Windsor on the near boards. Up to Jamieson. He just chipped it inside the Minnesota zone, but they're saying that he did it on his own side of center ice, and icing is the call. 18:43 left to go in the first period. No score here so far. We're live from the beautiful Northern Community Center in the west end of Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Face off to the right of Keenan Marks. Obat winning the draw. Back to Anderson, and that shot deflected wide of the goal. Kovacs pounding that off the boards, and it's out into the center ice area. Will Anderson fires it back in and took a hit from Dylan Windsor. Michael Starzomski on the far boards over the stick of Kovacs down the ice. Will it have enough juice? No icing, as that was close to being an icing call. Jameis, and he couldn't find anybody out in the slot area. Windsor over the line, being bothered from behind. And back comes Ethan Peterson to Cav Brunner, and he just pushes it inside the Sault College zone. Harley Wardell, nice move to come out of his own zone, smooth skating forward. Trying to get it in, but that was blocked by Brunner. Novello lost that to Mogren, and DeRoger settles things down, but he was poke checked. That's Wedward. And Brody McLeod let it go by. And the puck's in behind the goal line. It squirts out. Harley Wardell trying to get away. Bounces out off the glass. Oh, it's a stanchion. And it popped out into the slot area into Rocher. And Remenda flipping it high into the air. Battling with Will Engel. Remenda winning that battle. Remenda back to the point. That's Seau. Remenda let it go. Novello back to the point. Across the blind. A one-time shot. That was blocked by the stick of Noah Mogren. Novello in behind the goal. Stopping. Battling with Brunner. Front of the goal. There's a shot there by Remenda, and it went wide. Blonda coming to the center. Into Novello. Zambaro bodied off the puck there nicely. And here comes Minnesota. Noah Mogren over the line, shoots right on, and that's steered away by Keenan Marks. His first save of the game. Novello to Moore. Mitchell Moore coming in, dropping it there for Zambaro. Zambaro just fires it around the boards. Mitchell Moore in behind the net. Windsor giving chase. And Zambaro was hit hard into the glass. There's a shot. Scores! Liam McDonald just sent that towards the goal, and it went off somebody in front of the goal. I believe it was one of the defensemen from Minnesota, and by Owen Peterson. 16:14 left to go in period number one. Sault College 1 and Minnesota no score. And that's just what the doctor ordered here for the Sault College Cougars. An early goal here this afternoon. Engelbrecht with the puck in behind the Minnesota goal. Slowing things down, Engelbrecht on the far side. Bounced off the boards by Kuba. And quickly the puck comes back in, so Engelbrecht will try again. Engelbrecht coming out of his own zone. Across. That was Cerrone. Peters. That was Kuba. That was hit by Lemke. Caleb Wood and Santa Maria fighting for the puck. And it's back inside the Minnesota zone. Engelbrecht leaving it there for Kuba. Kuba, and that bounced off something up into the Minnesota bench. Number 13, the captain of the Minnesota Golden Gophers, TJ Kuba, would like to say hello to both sets of grandparents, one watching in Florida and one watching in Virginia. Hope you're enjoying the game as much as we are here in the Steel City. 15:26 left to go in the first period. Seo sends that to the goal. That one off a stick, a broken stick. And that was number 14, Myers. Broke his stick on the play. Minnesota coming out. That's Keegan Johnson, too far ahead of Arneson. Arneson winning the race there and negating the icing call. Nick Jameis picking the puck up for Sioux College. To Blonda, poking it ahead of Will Anderson. Tortolot coming in to pick up the puck. And out comes Minnesota. Arneson to Wobot. Leaves it there for number 9. That's Keegan Johnson. Keegan Johnson, big game for Minnesota yesterday. A goal and 2 assists. Back comes Jacob Kovacs with Windsor catching up. Kovacs trying to get through. Windsor. Oh, and that shot was blocked by Brunner. Good setup there from Kovacs. Brunner to Johnson. With Obu going to the goal, and that pass didn't make it all the way. Arneson, he was checked. Here comes Kovacs trying to break through. He was knocked down. Wardell for Sioux College. And that helmet comes off number 17, and that's Cullen Grahak. And he has to go off, and there's going to be a penalty on the play to the Sioux College Cougars. Check that. That's going to be to the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Number 4, Cav Brunner. And Sioux College will go to their first power play chance of today's game. Santa Maria, Novello, Wood, Starzomski, and Lemke. Wood, back to Starzomski, across to Lemke. Fires a shot, rebound, and Santa Maria overskated the puck. Santa Maria, fire! He was hammered into the boards from behind. Holy cow, no call on that. That was a very dangerous hit on Brock Santa Maria, and the referees decided there was no penalty. Starzomski bringing the puck out for Sioux College. Cameron Lemke just rifles it around the boards. Comes out in front of the net. That went off something off one of the glass stanchions. Out in front of the goal. No damage done. Lemke to Starzomski. He fires it in. Peterson will leave it there for Anderson, who fires it around the boards, but Lemke will be there to keep it in. Caleb Wood coming to the slot, shoots, and he shot that one over top of the net. Wood again, one-time shot, right on, rebound, and Novello was there with a couple of shots there, and Owen Peterson with 3 good saves. 13:11 left to go in period number 1. 1 minute to go in the penalty to Cav Brunner. Sioux College Cougars buzzing around the goal, but no results as of yet on the power play. Kovacs, Windsor, Wardell, McLeod, and Jameis. Kovacs, back to McLeod. Short pass to Kovacs, back to McLeod. To Jameis. Shoots! That's blocked easily by Peterson. McLeod sends one to the goal, and that was deflected wide of the goal. Jameis has the puck to Kovacs. Shoots! Stopped by Peterson. Tortolot had that poke check from him. Wood, oh, and he couldn't keep it in. There's a break now, and that's Joey Greenland. Greenland shoots, and he ripped that one wide of the goal. Kovacs for Sioux College will slow things down with Obot for checking. Kovacs handing it off to number 18. That's Harley Wardell. Back to Kovacs. From the goal, Windsor. Rebound. Oh, and the puck was lying on the goal line. And that's going to do it for the power play for the Sioux College Cougars, as they're 0 for 1 so far in today's game. Jameis around. Cerrone scores! Nick James makes it 2-0 for the Sault College Cougars with 12:03 left to go in period number 1. What a slick move that was by number 22, Nick James, to put the Cougars up by a score of 2-0. Rumenda off to Saya, who quickly dumps it inside the Minnesota zone. Will Engel in behind the Minnesota goal to Bishop. Bishop quickly checked by Rumenda. Picked up by Zimbaro. Zimbaro bodied off the puck, and it comes back to LaValle. LaValle in behind the goal to Rumenda. Shot on the short side, and that was by Zimbaro, and it went wide. Vonda sends that one to the goal, and it went wide. Zimbaro with the puck. Sault College Cougars with a lot of jump here early in the first period. Back to the point. That's Sale. Shoots. That's blocked by Peterson. Myers decides to slow things down. Luke Myers around Rumenda. Number 14, Luke Myers. Good work coming through center. Hands that off to Keegan Johnson. Back to Tyler Bishop. Bishop lost that puck. And here comes David Sale. All by himself. 1-on-2. Sale around Tortolot. Tortolot in front of the net. Now it's steered away. There's a shot by Rumenda. And another save by Owen Peterson. 10:57 left to go in the first period. Sault College 2. And the Minnesota Golden Gophers 1. Lemke. Johnson. Moore. Starzomski. With a shot right, and there's a bullet over top of the goal. Mitchell Moore battling for the puck. Chase Johnson back to Starzomski. Shoots. That's deflected by Lemke wide. Tortolot punches it up to TJ Kuba. Here comes Noah Morgan. There's a shot there by Wedward, and a good defensive play by number 26, Liam McDonald, to stop that. 10:26 left to go in the first period. Sault College 2 and Minnesota no score. Face off to the left of the Sault College goaltender, Keegan Marks. Sam Margol on the draw for Minnesota. He's kicked out, and TJ Kuba will come in and take the draw. He lost that one. Back to the point. Engelbrecht. Lemke just threw his player to the ground. Starzomski. And he pounded his player in the corner. The puck's flipped high off the glass and into the netting by Cooper Cerrone. Bit physical out there. And Starzomski is a big lad, and he backs down from nobody. 10:11 to go in the first period. Sault College 2 and Minnesota no score. Sault College Cougars' second game in less than 3 days, and they're showing a lot of jump out there for having played just last evening. Cooper Cerrone for Minnesota. That pass was intercepted by Liam McDonald. McDonald doing some good work to keep it at the blue line. McDonald back to Starzomski. To McDonald. Liam McDonald. Dylan Windsor back to McDonald. And McDonald will fire it in, but that hit Dylan Windsor up high. Cooper Cerrone on the far side to Caleb Engelbrecht. Long pass. And that was picked off by Starzomski. Quickly the other way. Dylan Windsor over the line. Around Cerrone. From the net, and that went by everybody. DeRocher. He fanned on that one, but got it back. Good work by Jonah DeRocher. Engelbrecht was bodied in the far corner. Kovacs coming in looking for a loose puck. Kovacs lurking around high in the slot for a loose puck. Oh, there's a big time hit on TJ Kuba by Brody McLeod. Engelbrecht. Nice move by Engelbrecht. And behind the goal, checked by DeRocher. And Jameis will flip it high in the air. And that's going to come out. And Kovacs is going to have a break. Kovacs right in. Oh, and he shot it high over top of the goal. What a burst of speed that was by number 72, Jacob Kovacs, on a high Lucy-like pass from Nick Jamis. The Cougars couldn't capitalize on that chance. 8 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in the first period. Sault College 2, Minnesota, no score. Quickly to the point, McLeod. Put a shot right on. And that was gloved by Owen Peterson. 8:45 left to go in the first period. Sault College 2, Minnesota, no score. Santa Maria and Obut on the draw. Obut winning that one. Back to Brunner. Brunner, long pass. And that will go all the way down the ice. No icing as Arneson won the race, but then let the puck go. Arneson looking for a loose puck. He's tied up in front of the net by Brody McLeod. What a play that was by number 2, McLeod. The puck was sitting there. Caleb Wood, 1-on-3. And McLeod comes in and bowls over his player. Caleb Wood, nice pass there to Brock Santa Maria, who dumps it in and then takes out his player, Cav Brunner. Tyler Arneson on the far boards. Across to Cav Brunner. Brunner down the left wing. He's going to leave it there for Anderson. Peterson in front of the goal. Oh, there's a shot. Another shot by Obut. And 2 outstanding saves by Keenan Marks. Another one on the short side. And that one found its way on the short side by Keenan Marks. And that looks like Luke Myers. Once again, Luke Myers. And its score is now Sault College 2 and Minnesota 1 with 7:47 left to go in the first period. Luke Myers for Minnesota. He had 2 goals last night and has one again here today for Minnesota. Wardell thrown out. And Alex Remenda will come in to take the draw. That's one by Minnesota. Tate Turtelot to Will Engel. Keegan Johnson lost control of that. Novello on the near boards. Wardell trying to get there. A poke check by Will Engel. Nice play there. Back comes Myers to Bishop. Bishop cutting in. He couldn't get in as he was rolled off the puck by Novello. And Novello was knocked down. And the Sault College Cougars will go back to the power play. Number 11, Tyler Bishop, will get the gate. Now let's see what the official call is. Will Engel, check that. Tyler Bishop will sit in the box for 2 minutes or less. And the call, roughing. So Sault College will get their second power play chance of today's game. Kovacs, Windsor, Wardell, McLeod, and Nick Jamis on defense. A little bit of discussion over on the Minnesota bench as to what the call should have been rather than what it is. Luke Myers just thrown in the side for the Sault College Cougars last night. He's starting again as he's got a goal already here this afternoon. And Obut thrown out. Joey Greenland coming in to take the draw. Won by the Cougars. McLeod to Kovacs. Back to McLeod. On the far side to Jamis. Backhand pass to Windsor. Dylan Windsor. Back to Jamis. Into McLeod, into Wardell. That's Windsor. Check that. Back to McLeod. To Kovacs. Kovacs studying things over. Across to Nick Jamis. Jamis shoots. That's blocked away by Peterson. Brody McLeod back to get the puck for Sault College as he decides to retreat in behind his own net. Number 2, Brody McLeod. What a find he is for the Cougars as he logs a lot of minutes. He drops it back to Jacob Kovacs, speeding over the line around Will Engel. And he wraps it around the boards to Dylan Windsor. Windsor. Front of the net. McLeod shoots. That's blocked away by Peterson. Kovacs. Back to McLeod. Over to Nick James. James across to Kovacs. Kovacs turns. Stops. Kovacs finally poke check, but gets it back to Dylan Windsor. Wardell in front of the goal, and the pass wasn't on his stick, and he couldn't get control of it. And it shot down the ice. 30 seconds left to go in the penalty to Tyler Bishop. Michael Starzomski for the Sault College Cougars coming out of his own end. Decides to turn and gives it off to Caleb Wood. Wood over the line, speeding in. Wood shoots, rebound, and that's going to be cleared away by Will Engel. Caleb Wood swooping in and pick up the puck to Cameron Lemke. Lemke to Wood. Wood trying to get a better angle in front of the net. Novello couldn't find the puck, and that'll do it for the penalty. Bishop's out of the box. Caleb Wood back to Lemke. Lemke, nice move. Lemke decides to turn around, try again. Lemke into Wood. Wood shoots, and that went off something in front of the net. And Starzomski couldn't keep it in. Back comes Johnson. Shoots. That's kicked away by Keenan Marks. Lemke left it there, but Keenan Johnson. He's tackled by number 17. That's Brock Santa Maria. Caleb Wood in the corner. Somebody dropped their stick. That was number 12, Lemke. Johnson. And the puck's loose. Picked up by Cameron Lemke. Lemke coming in. He decides to shoot it, and that's easily stopped by Peterson. Will Anderson. Will Engel. Check that. To Tortolot. To Willett. Cross to Peterson, and he sidestepped a check from Riley LaValle. Zambaro lost that one. Peterson. Hoich looking in front of the goal for Tyler Bishop. There's a shot by Anderson. And Keenan Marks comes up with a save. Four minutes and 4 seconds left to go in the first period. Sault College 2 and Minnesota 1. Face off to the right of the Sault College goal. Oh, but on the draw, couldn't quite win that one, but the Gophers get control of the puck. Riley LaValle pushing it ahead. Mitchell Moore coming in. But Mitchell Moore thought he had it. But Cooper Cerrone has it. Arneson pushes that up to Brady O'Butt. O'Butt around. He went around Anthony Blonda. Back comes Riley LaValle. He's going to fire it in right on. That's caught by Owen Peterson. And with Mitchell Moore bearing down, he decides to take the whistle. 3:28 left to go in the first period. Sault College 2 and Minnesota 1. Faceoff will be to the left of Owen Peterson and the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Bishop and Wardell will battle for the draw. Bishop winning that one. Back to Engelbrecht. And there's a break. That's Luke Myers. Myers. Oh, what a save that was by Keenan Marks. As Luke Myers tried to get Keenan Marks to open up the 5-hole and slide it underneath. But Marks said, I don't think so. 3 minutes and 18 seconds left to go in the first period. Sault College still up by 1. Face-off will be to the right of the Sault College goal. The Cougars winning that job, but that's fired down the ice. And that's going to be icing on Sault College. As Cooper Cerrone was the first one back. And that will be icing. So the team that ices the puck is not allowed to change their players in the ACHA Division II level. Bishop, Johnson, and Myers, the big line out for Minnesota, looking for the tying goal. Minnesota getting for a quick shot off the draw by Johnson. Another shot, that went off the post. Another shot by Myers, and he whiffed on that one. Big scramble off the draw, and Minnesota had two huge chances to tie the game. Luke Myers for Minnesota finally loses the puck. Chase Johnson, he lost it, but gets it back. Johnson bounces it off the boards. Romenda to Wardell. Nice move by Wardell coming through center. Romenda going to the goal. Wardell shoots, rebound! And the puck's in the slot, and Johnson couldn't get there. And there's going to be a penalty in behind the Minnesota goal. And it's going to be number 11, Tyler Bishop, as he took out his player, Alex Romenda. And Tyler Bishop will get his second penalty of the period. And the Sault College Cougars will go back to the power play late in the first period, up by 1. 2:29 left to go in the first period. Sault College 2 and Minnesota 1. Obat and Brock Santa Maria. Obat winning that draw back to Tortolot. He stops, goes back the other way, and Will Engel will fire it down the ice. Keenan Marks will tee it up for Michael Starzomski, the big defenseman from Sault College. Coming out of his own zone, dropping it off to Santa Maria. Santa Maria slowly coming through center. Overline sidesteps a check from Tortolot, but forgot the puck. And it's shot inside the Minnesota bench with 2 minutes and 1 second left to go in the first period. Sault College 2, Minnesota 1. 1:32 left in the penalty to Tyler Bishop. Santa Maria, Novello, Lemke, Starzomski, and Wood on the power play for the Cougars. Lemke to Novello. Novello in the far corner. In behind the goal to Lemke. Out to Caleb Wood. Back to Starzomski. Shoots, and he shot that one wide. Engel high down the ice. And Keenan Marks will stop it for Starzomski, but he fires it around the boards to Caleb Wood. Number 19 for the Cougars. 19, Caleb Wood coming through center. Hands it off to Dylan Windsor. Windsor spins and shoots it around the boards. That'll come to Brody McLeod. McLeod tied up in the far corner. Windsor coming in looking for the puck. Pokes it loose to Wardell. Windsor. Kovacs coming in looking for a pass. McLeod to Kovacs. Kovacs shoots. A stop. Rebound, and that stopped. Wardell with a big hit on the far side. And the puck comes down the ice. We're under a minute to go in the first period. Jacob Kovacs breaking out of his own zone. He couldn't get that by Obat, but Jameis picks it up and speeding through center. Nick Jameis stops in the hash marks. Jameis in behind the goal, up went over the stick of Wardell, and that'll do it for the penalty to Tyler Bishop, and Minnesota is back to full strength. Jameis to Windsor. Jameis to Windsor again. Kovacs. Kovacs in front of the goal, and that hit a skate. Another chance in front of the net, and that hopped over the stick of Brody McLeod, and the Cougars have to come back. Nick Jameis in behind his own goal. And he's deciding he might just kill the clock with a long outlet pass. Caleb Wood with a chance. And the first period is over. The Sault College Cougars 2 and the Minnesota Golden Gophers 1. Shots on goal at the end of the first period by Sault College 18 and by Minnesota 10. We'll be back in about 12 minutes time for the playing of the second period. Welcome back inside the Northern Community Centre in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. After one period of play, the Sault College Cougars lead the Minnesota Golden Gophers by a score of 2-1. Sault College Cougars out quickly to a 2-0 lead, and that was cut in half by number 14, Luke Myers. And that brings us to what we have now, the Gophers down by 1. Gophers in a little bit of penalty trouble in the first period, and that's a little bit of a turnaround, as just one night ago it was the other way around. The Sault College Cougars found themselves in penalty trouble. Second period of play, Minnesota will go from left to right. Sault College will go from right to left. Here we go. And that's Engelbrecht right off the draw for Minnesota. Engelbrecht. And that's tipped in by Myers. Blanda beaten to the puck by Johnson. But it's picked up by Sale. To Lemke. Back to Sale. Intercepted by Myers. Johnson in front of the net all by himself. They couldn't get him the puck. Johnson in behind the goal. Keegan Johnson off the boards to Engelbrecht. Back at the point. Engelbrecht just decides to dump it in. Luke Myers overskated it. Left it there for Johnson. Back to Engelbrecht. Engelbrecht shoots it. Tries to bank it off the backboards. Meyer back to the point. That's Cooper Cerrone. Meyer lets it go. Johnson. It hits something on the boards. And Anthony Blanda will have it for the Sault College Cougars. Knocked down by Johnson. Johnson to Meyer. Shoots! And that one off the stick of Brock Santa Maria, high over the glass and out of play. 19:04 left to go in the first period. Sault College 2 and Minnesota 1. Face-off will come to the right of Keenan Marks. Obutt and Jameis will just go for the draw. But Abu winning that. Back to Turtelot. He fanned on it. Jacob Kovacs has the puck with Windsor going to the center. Windsor, nice move. Windsor shoots. And a trick shot by Windsor. And Owen Peterson was up to the task. Back come the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Jameis with the puck. And knocked down by Starzomski. Starzomski couldn't get it out. Back comes Arneson. Tyler Arneson hauled down. On the far side, there's going to be a penalty to the Cougars. Backhand shot by Ethan Peterson, and that was picked out of the air by Keenan Marks. And Liam McDonald will head to the box for the Cougars. And the Minnesota Golden Gophers will go to the power play with 18:22 left to go in the second period. Bishop, Meyer, Peterson, Engelbrecht, and Johnson on the power play for Minnesota. Bishop winning that job. Back to Engelbrecht. Engelbrecht over to Keegan Johnson. Peterson back to Engelbrecht. Bishop in front of the goal, and it ends up on the stick of Keegan Johnson. Cross ice to Tyler Bishop. Bishop shoots, and that one off something wide of the goal. Engelbrecht back to the point. Tyler Bishop shoots, and that one went wide. DeRozier fires it around the boards, not out. And that's kept in nicely by Tyler Meyer across to Engelbrecht. Engelbrecht stops. Back to Bishop. Bishop to Engelbrecht. Back to the point. Keegan Johnson. That's a rip, and he shot it low and hard, but wide. And the puck comes all the way back down the ice. Tyler Bishop will have it for Minnesota. To Keegan Johnson. Over the line. Back to Meyer. Meyer just dumps it in the corner. Ethan Peterson will have it for Minnesota. Hooked from behind by Brody McLeod. They let that go. Another push by McLeod. And the puck ends up out into the neutral zone. Engelbrecht off the stick of Remenda, but he couldn't find the puck. Meyer coming through center. Up to Sam Margot. Left it there. Bishop. And he couldn't find anybody, and the puck shot down the ice. Owen Peterson. Well, he handed off to Cab Brunner. Brunner bounces it off the boards. And that could be intercepted. Windsor. And not too far ahead for Jacob Kovacs. Radio Boo. Coming through center. Kuba. On the right side. Front of the goal. And that one off the skate of Blonda. And that'll do it for the penalty for the Cougars. Back to full strength. Kuba shoots. And that was blocked by number 7, Sayal. Oh, but for the goal. What a save that was on a shot by TJ Kuba. The left pad of Keenan Marks. Huge save for the Cougars. Brunner shoots. And he rifled that one high over top of the goal. Tortolot. Into Arneson shoots. And that was blocked away by Marks. Some pressure here by the Minnesota Golden Gophers. That was just offside with 15:43 left to go in the second period. Sault College Cougars 2 and Minnesota Golden Gophers 1. Wardell on the draw for the Sault College Cougars. And it comes back to Engel, to Tortolot. Back to Engel. And Hatfield hasn't seen much ice today, Hatfield, but he's out there now. Wardell pinched off. Comes in front of the goal, and that's Wedward, but he couldn't do anything with it. Back comes Harley Wardell. And he shoots it down the ice. Icing, no, it's going to be right on. And Owen Peterson won't take any chances as he covers it up. And the whistle goes. 15:17 left to go in the second period. Sault College 2 and Minnesota 1. Lemke. Wood. And Santa Maria. Back to the point. There's a shot by McDonald. And that one just barely missed. McDonald got a goal earlier in today's game by sending it to the goal. Offside is the call at the Sault College line. Keegan Johnson was caught inside the line and couldn't get out in time. 15:04 left to go in period number 2. Sault College 2, Minnesota 1. Bishop winning that draw. Back to Will Engel. To Grayhack. Grayhack dumps it in. Marks to Lemke. Out in the center. And that's kept in by Engel. Far side to Keegan Johnson. Tyler Bishop sends it into an open corner. And Starzomski flips it high into the air. Caleb Wood to Santa Maria. Santa Maria tries a short side shot, and Owen Peterson stopped him right in front of the goal and went off a skate. Back comes Minnesota, but that was quickly stopped by Cameron Lemke. Brody McLeod on the far side, coming in. Decides to keep going. Cullen Grayhack on the far side. And a dangerous pass up the middle. And they got away with that one, did Minnesota. Engel off the boards. On the stick of Caleb Wood. Santa Maria and Grayhack. Grayhack winning that battle, but he couldn't get it out. Grayhack trying again, but left it there for Tyler Bishop. Number 11, Tyler Bishop, coming through center, over the line. Trying to go around, and he went around DeRoche, but Mark stopped him. Nice play there by number 11, Tyler Bishop, for the Gophers. Gabriel Zambaro streaking through center to Mitchell Moore, back to Zambaro. Zambaro backhand pass, and that went wide of the goal. Brody McLeod in the far corner. Zambaro trying to get the puck, but couldn't get there in time. Back comes O'Butt, Brady O'Butt, rink wide pass to Arneson. And Chase Johnson will get the puck and shovel it ahead to Anthony Blonda. Being pestered there by Owen Peterson, but it comes out to Mitchell Moore. That's going to be offside as Mitchell Moore cut to the center. And Chase Johnson went straight in ahead of the puck. 13:06 left to go in the second period. Sioux College 2 and Minnesota 1. Sam Margot winning that draw. Back to Tortolot. On the far side, that's Will Anderson. All the way down the ice, Keegan Marks. Bats it over to Blonda. On the stick of Harley Wardell. Number 18, flying through center over the line. Around angle. For the goal, and Anderson was there to take it away. Blonda fires it around the boards. And Anderson won't get it out. Wardell trying to keep it in. Harley Wardell has the puck. Wardell turns and fires it off the netting, as the idea was to shoot it along the glass, but he got it a little bit too high. And it went out of play with 12:24 left to go in the second period. Sioux College 2 and Minnesota 1. So the faceoff will be to the right of Owen Peterson, the goaltender for Minnesota. Obat and Wardell on the draw. Scramble for the puck, and it comes out. And that's Dylan Wedward. We'll have it for Minnesota. Wedward, rink wide pass on the stick of Noah Mogren. Mogren in front of the net, and there was nobody there. It went all the way through. Wardell, long pass. It was in the air, knocked down by Novello to Romenda. Romenda shoots, and that went off the stick of number 17, Cullen Grayheck. And over the glass, and out of play. 12 minutes left to go in the second period. Sioux College 2 and Minnesota 1. Uneventful second period so far, and we'll see what happens in the last 12 minutes of the period. Jameis winning that draw back to McDonald. Oh, shoots, that was blocked. Starzomski, he was checked. And here comes Noah Mogren. Mogren shoots, and he fired that high over top of the net. He was looking top corner blocker side. And he shot it too high up into the netting and out of play. 11:47 left to go in period number 2. Sioux College 2 and Minnesota 1. Second game in less than 24 hours for both of these teams. And it's a much quieter second period and not quite as furious a pace as it was in period number 1. Brody McLeod to DeRoche. Back to McLeod. To DeRoche. Jonah DeRoche up the middle. And that was stopped by Luke Myers, but he lost it to Dylan Windsor. Windsor. Kovacs with a shot, and he fired that one low and wide. Kovacs has to wait. He didn't wait long enough. And that was just offside, as Dylan Windsor was caught inside on the far side of the ice. 11:23 left to go in the second period. Sioux College 2 and Minnesota 1. Tyler Bishop, Nick Jameis will battle for the draw just outside the Minnesota line. And Minnesota wins at Engelbrecht. On the far side, Keegan Johnson coming through. Johnson. And he was, but Tyler Bishop has the puck buried by DeRoche. And here comes Jacob Kovacs with Jameis going to the net. Jameis trying to bat that puck out of the air, missed it. And Jameis took his player out. Oh, and the player was decked on the far side. Here comes Tyler Bishop. And that puck. Oh, and there's a penalty there too, as Keenan Marks was upended from behind. And that will draw a crowd every single time if you want to take a shot at the goaltender. That will draw a crowd. And that was Tyler Bishop. That took the legs out from Keenan Marks. And Keenan Marks shaking that off. So we'll see if that will be coincidental minors or Sioux College will have to kill off a penalty. Sioux College was getting the first penalty, and we'll see if there's another one called. So Dylan Windsor for sure is going to the box. These calls made at the 10:53 mark of the second period. So Windsor, Anthony Blonda will join him in the box. So 2 Sioux College Cougars for 1 and number 11. Tyler Bishop will go to the box for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. So they will play 4-on-4 hockey here. Or will it be 4-on-5? Do the officials know what it's going to be as they're telling each bench what it's going to be? And it looks as though the Minnesota Golden Gophers will have a power play here after that little mix-up. And a bit of confusion at the penalty box as to what's going on. Kuba. Margot. Arneson. Obat. And number 4, Cav Brunner on the ice for Minnesota. Novello. McLeod. Remenda. And Lemke for the Cougars. There, and finally a penalty's put up on the board. Number 5 will get the extra 2. That's Dylan Windsor. Obat winning that draw back to Cav Brunner. Brunner to Tyler Arneson. Arneson back to Brunner. Courtside shot by Obat. And that was stopped by Marks. Tyler Arneson. Looking for Obat. There's a shot by Kuba. And Marks was there again. In the far corner. That's Sam Margol. Back to the point. Cav Brunner to Tyler Arneson. Arneson. Across. One-time shot by Sam Margol. That one went wide. Gordy McLeod has the puck, but no place to go. But back to Margol. Margol on the far boards. In the corner to a butt. Back to the point. That's Cav Brunner. To Tyler Arneson. Back to Brunner. Brunner. Circling. Engel. Margol. Back to Arneson. Oh, Brunner. One-time shot. Rebound. It's in front of the goal. It's swiped away. And finally, Lemke fires it down the ice, and the Sioux College Cougars will change their penalty killers. Tyler Arneson coming out on the near side. Arneson floating through center. Around Sayal. Arneson slows things down. That's back to Engelbrecht. Engelbrecht. Following that. And Keenan Marks was right there, and he pounced on the puck. And the whistle goes. 9:06 left to go in the second period. Sioux College 2 and Minnesota 1. 13 seconds left in the penalty. To the Sioux College Cougars. Myers. Meyer. Peterson. Johnson. Engelbrecht. And Cerrone. Out for Minnesota. And Jacob Kovacs bats it down the ice. And that's going to do it for the Minnesota power play. And we're back to even strength. Here comes Keegan Johnson over the line. Johnson cutting to the center. Johnson! What a move that was by Keegan Johnson. And it looks as though Keenan Marks took another beating as Keegan Johnson went speeding through the goal crease. And there's going to be another penalty on the play to Keegan Johnson. And from Well, from our broadcast angle, we couldn't tell what exactly happened, if Keegan Marks ran the goaltender over or just got a very slight piece of him. Nonetheless, Keegan Johnson, he decided to go to the net, and he certainly did, as he went flying through the net, through the goal crease. And Starzomski will get at least one penalty called at the 8:44 mark. So maybe that's going to be the only penalty called, but the gate is open for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. And we'll see if anybody goes in. So Sault College got themselves into some penalty issues last night, and it looks like they're getting themselves into some penalty issues here in the second period, as the Golden Gophers will go back to the power play. Keegan Marks taking a beating as well here in the second period, and we'll hope that he's okay to keep going. So by the looks of the no call on Minnesota, Keegan Johnson didn't get a big piece of the Sault College goaltender, but Starzomski took exception to Keegan Johnson going hard to the goal, and he'll sit in the box for 2 minutes or less. Face-off will be to the left of the Sault College goaltender. Bishop, Peterson, Meyer, Engelbrecht, and Keegan Johnson on the power play. Engelbrecht, Minnesota looking for the tying goal. Keegan Johnson back to Engelbrecht. Engelbrecht. Bishop shoots right into the glove of number 30, Keegan Marks. And Marks certainly showing a little bit of wear as he made a nice glove save. 8:35 left to go in the second period. Sault College 2 and Minnesota 1. Bishop. The puck's underneath Nick James. He's got it, and they blew the whistle. And the officials let 6 players fight for it in the boards for several seconds, but this time they blew the whistle real fast. 8:29 left to go in the second period. 2-1 the Cougars lead. Lemke decides to keep it tight on the boards. Puck comes back to Engelbrecht. Across to Keegan Johnson. Johnson into Meyer, back to Engelbrecht, and he couldn't handle that pass, and it comes back out. And he'll have to come back and regroup. Engelbrecht, Caleb Engelbrecht coming through center, 1-on-3 around Lemke. Engelbrecht decides to go around the goal. Back to the point, Johnson, and there was nobody where he passed it. Here comes Nick James, shorthanded. James coming in, James scores! A shorthanded goal by number 22, Nick James. And the Sault College Cougars are back up by 2 goals and lead 3-1. What a nice play that was by James to open up the goaltender and slide it through the 5-hole. 7:46 left to go in the second period. 1 minute left to go in the power play. And that's not what Minnesota needed on that. But that's exactly what the Sault College Cougars needed, to be up by 2 goals again. Here comes Cav Brunner down the left side. And he just dumps it in. Wanda, he whiffed on that one, but it comes out. And Ethan Novello will force Peterson to not play it and leave it there for Brunner. Tyler Arneson coming up the right side. Back to the point, that's Brunner. Margol sends it, and that went off the leg of Remenda. There's a big collision on the far kind. And there's going to be a penalty. Brunner, front of the net. And he tried a toe drag. Arneson in front of the goal. And Margot couldn't find the puck. Marks was out. Oh, but shoots right into the glove of Keegan Marks. And then Sault threw his player to the ground. And Kuba. And number 10, Michael Starzomski saying hello. And so the Sault College Cougars, once again, will have to kill off another penalty here with 6:40 left to go in the second period. And you keep giving them chances on the power play. You wonder how long it's going to take before they get one. Sault College 3, Minnesota 1. Bishop, Meyer, Peterson, Engelbrecht, and Johnson on the power play once again for Minnesota. And Caleb Engelbrecht back to Keegan Johnson. Back to Caleb Engelbrecht. Leaving it there for Tyler Bishop. Bishop weaving his way through center over the line. Back to Meyer. He overskated that. And it was almost a break. Brody McLeod gets it out into the center ice area. Engelbrecht to Bishop. Bishop stops. All the way across. Keegan Johnson. Nice pass to Peterson. And what a save that was by Keegan Marks. The puck was loose. And the referee says no goal as the puck ended up in behind Keegan Marks. With 5:55 left to go in the second period. That was a close call. And every time there's a stoppage in play, Keenan Marks is on one knee and you wonder what he's going through, as he is certainly feeling something. He's trying to battle his way through it. Here's Keenan Marks. 5:55 left to go in the second period. Sault College 3 and Minnesota 1. Jameis, Santa Maria, Starzomski, and Liam McDonald on the penalty kill for Sault College. Starzomski couldn't get that out. Peterson back to Engelbrecht. To Keegan Johnson. Shoots! Rebound! Meyer across to Bishop. Bishop! And that one off a skate. Johnson into Meyer. Back to Engelbrecht. Engelbrecht to Bishop. Peterson. Back to Bishop. Back to Engelbrecht. Engelbrecht. Keenan Johnson. Shoots! That's blocker down. Rebound! Meyer. In behind the goal to Peterson. That was stolen. But it's kept in by Engelbrecht. Nice play there by Engelbrecht to keep it in. Keegan Johnson back to Engelbrecht. Engelbrecht. Bishop back to Engelbrecht. Bishop. Johnson shoots. That one off something wide of the goal. Johnson to Meyer. Meyer. Too far ahead of Peterson. Starzomski has it and it gets it out. And that's going to do it for the Sault College Cougars penalty. As Sault comes out of the box. Engelbrecht for Bishop. For the net. And that was number 10, Noah Mogren, streaking through the crease. Back to Tortolot. Too many players on the ice, and they didn't call that one. Back comes Harley Wardell. Wardell. Oh, and he decides to pass. And Santa Maria wasn't expecting that. And Starzomski took his player out real hard in the far corner. And Starzomski loves the physical part of the game. And he took his player out hard. 4:13 left to go in the second period. Sault College 3 and Minnesota 1. Wedward winning that draw. Back to Tortolot. Tortolot flipping it high in the air. Santa Maria with a nice play to get it to Wardell. Wardell shoots. That's blocked by Anderson. McLeod sends it to the goal, and there's no rebound. And Peterson was right there. We're live from the Northern Community Centre in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Almost a packed house here for this game between the Sault College Cougars and the Minnesota Golden Gophers. 3:55 left to go in the second period. Sault College 3 and Minnesota 1. Wardell and Wedward on the draw to the right of Minnesota goal. Wardell got the boot. And Romenda will come in. Wardell coming to pick up the puck. Decides to turn and get it back to DeRozier. Shoots, that's blocked. Kept in by DeRozier to Wardell. Wardell couldn't keep it in, back. Comes Hatfield, and that shot was well wide of the goal. Mogren has the puck on the far side. Back to the point, that's Brunner. To Mogren. Shoots, that was blocked. Wedward and Brody McLeod in behind the goal line. Battling for the puck. Puck comes out. Wedward has it. Shoots a short side shot, and he shot it high. Kept in by Brunner on the far side. That's Mogren to Wedward. Front of the net. And the puck's batted away by McLeod. DeRozier. In behind the net. Checked by Wedward. Wedward coming out with the puck. Wedward. And he was looking for Peterson coming through. Couldn't find him. Cav Brunner to Ethan Peterson. Peterson on the far side. Back to a butt. Rebound! There's Tyler Arneson, and he was knocked down by Wardell. With 2:34 left to go in the second period. Sault College Cougars 3. And the Minnesota Golden Gophers 1. Face-off will be to the right of Keenan Marks. David Sale off the glass and out. Wood to Lemke. Back to Wood, too far ahead of him. Wood will get the puck first. Tortolot pushing his player off and gathers the puck in. Tate Tortolot coming out of his own zone. Long pass, and that one off the skate of Ethan Peterson. O'Butt shot that one wide of the goal. Peterson back in behind the goal. O'Butt to Arneson. Arneson to Peterson. Back to the point. Anderson shoots. Oh, there's the puck in front of the goal. What a save that was by Keenan Marks as he stuck the glove out. Caleb Wood to Santa Maria. Santa Maria around, trying to wrap around, and it didn't work. Blondo with a shot that goes wide. Sale into Santa Maria. That one off the stick of Wood. Sale was going to keep it in, but he shot it too high. Off the netting, and that'll bring the face-off outside. Check, that's in the Minnesota zone, so that'll bring that outside the line. At least it should. And they're not bringing it outside the line as Sault College shot it over the net, but the officials must say it went off a stick. Minute 30 left to go in the second period. Zambaro winning that draw back to Starzomski. Sending it to the goal, and that went off Zambaro wide. Greenland with the puck. Quick shot by Mitchell Moore. That was blocked. Zambaro battling for the puck on the far side. Mitchell Moore trying to get in front. That was blocked. McDonald keeping it in and fires out behind the goal. And there's Kuba getting it out. There's a big hit there by Joey Greenland on Mitchell Moore as he felt that one. Engelbrecht just off the glass and out. Jacob Kovacs to Zambaro. Greenland bothering him. And the puck is out. Kuba has the puck for Minnesota. Kuba shoots. That's blocked by McLeod. And Kovacs come in. Got the puck out. Comes back. That's Grayhack for Minnesota. With the puck on the far side. McLeod to Starzomski. Chase McLeod. Chase Johnson. And he knocks that puck deep into the Minnesota zone. Owen Peterson leaves it there for Grayhack. And he hammers this player down, Kovacs. And that maybe could have been called, but it wasn't. And the buzzer goes after 2 periods of play. The Sault College Cougars 3 and Minnesota Golden Gophers 1. Shots on goal after the second period by the Sault College Cougars 24 and by Minnesota 19. We'll be back in 13 minutes time for the third period. Welcome back inside the Northern Community Centre in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Mike Armitage with the play-by-play for today's game between the Sault College Cougars and the visiting Minnesota Golden Gophers. At the end of the second period, there was a bit of shenanigans going on, and it appears as though there will be no penalties as a result of that altercation. One goal in the second period, and that was by Nick James of the Sault College Cougars, short-handed, and gives the Cougars a 2-goal lead as they're up by a score of 3-1. A steady parade of penalties by the Sault College Cougars, but they dodged bullets galore as they killed off every single penalty, and they're sure the coaching staff will have addressed that at the second intermission. Minnesota will be pressing here in the third period as they need at least 2 goals to send it to extra time. So College Cougars will play again tomorrow afternoon at noon as they will battle Davenport. Will be game 3 of their 3-game homestand at the Northern Community Centre in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Sault College will be going in the third period from left to right, and Minnesota will be going from right to left. Keegan Mark still in the goal as he took a beating in the second period, but he's out for the third period. Santa Maria, Lemke, Wood, Blonda, and Sault for the Cougars. The big line for Minnesota, but Wood has the puck. Shoots! Oh, and that one off the stick of Owen Peterson. Kept in by Sault. He fires it around the boards. Keegan Johnson will have it. He couldn't get it out. And Engelbrecht picks it off and bangs it out into the center ice area. Blonda will fire it back in. Cooper Cerrone back to Caleb Engelbrecht. Cerrone gave that away to Santa Maria. Engelbrecht will come in and try and break that up. Lemke back to Blonda. Shoots! Oh, and that one just missed. Anthony Blonda just missed. Back to Blonda again. Blonda turning away from Johnson. Keegan Johnson couldn't get it by Blonda with good work by number 4, Blonda. Lemke in front of the goal. And Keegan Johnson up to Luke Meyer. Meyer has the goal for Minnesota here tonight, this afternoon. Bishop, Meyer shoots, and he ripped that one wide. Anderson couldn't keep it in. That looked out, but the official says no. Even the defenseman Tortolot thought it was out. Nick James blows a tire, but up quickly and hands it off to David Sault. Up to Jacob Kovacs. Kovacs around Anderson. Kovacs shoots, rebound. Oh, how did that not go in? The puck was there, and so was the open net. And how did that not go in? Big save by Owen Peterson. That keeps the score at Sault College 3 and Minnesota 1. 18:21 left to go in the third period. Kovacs. James. And number 5, Dylan Windsor, up front for the Cougars. That puck bounced by everybody, and Cav Brunner has it for Minnesota. He'll shoot it in. McDonald off the near boards. And here comes Jacob Kovacs with Nick James. Starzovsky going to the net. And Kovacs decides to keep it. Back to the point. Windsor shoots, and that one went wide. Arneson up the center, couldn't get it out. Starzovsky all by himself. Nick James. James, oh, and he waited, and he waited, and he waited, and he couldn't, and he missed. James has it back. Another shot, and he shot it wide. DeRoche to Kovacs. Kovacs. And it comes out. And that's Obutt to Nate, to Ethan Peterson. Arneson decides to turn around, but Starzomski checked him. And Novello has the puck. Kovacs in front of the net. And it's on the stick of Tate Tortolot. He slows things down. Tortolot coming through center. Shoots. That's stopped by Marks. Mogren wraps it around the boards. And that's out. Good work by Remenda to get that out. Tortolot fires it back in. Could be too many players on the ice. As the officials let Minnesota away with one of those in the second period. And the Sault College Cougars playing with fire here as another penalty coming up. And they're going to get called for too many players on the ice. With 16:47 left to go in the third period. Sault College 3 and Minnesota 1. Harley Wardell will serve the minor penalty for the Sault College Cougars. Brody McLeod trying to get it out. And Novello shoots it down the ice. Owen Peterson will leave it there. And here he comes. Minnesota coming out of their own zone. And that's Engelbrecht. He lost it to Novello. And Novello decides to stop and go back. And then it's fired down the ice by David Sale. Peterson will leave it there for Engelbrecht. And they'll try it again. Engelbrecht to Tyler Bishop. Bishop, rink wide pass on the stick of Keegan Johnson. Back to Peterson. Bishop, back to Engelbrecht. Engelbrecht to Peterson. Bishop. Meyer, back to Bishop. Across, back to Peterson. Over to Engelbrecht. Engelbrecht. Check, that's Johnson. There's Engelbrecht on the far side. Has the puck. Back to Peterson. To Engelbrecht. Shoots! And that's stopped by Keegan Marks. That was a high shot. And that was handled nicely by the Sault College goaltender. 15:35 left to go in the third period. Sault College 3, Minnesota 1. 48 seconds left to go in the bench minor penalty to the Cougars. McDonald, Kovacs, Starzomski, and Windsor. Penalty killing for the Cougars, winning the draw. Starzomski firing it around the boards. That's kept in by Keegan Johnson. Back to the point, Engelbrecht. To Bishop. Back to Johnson. Shoots! Oh, and he whistled that one just wide of the goal, and a puck comes all the way down the ice. And Engelbrecht will have to start over. And they come out. Saucer pass to Bishop. Rink wide pass to Keegan Johnson. Johnson leaves it there. Peterson. Back to Bishop. Across to Brunner. Whoa, check. Gorgeous play by Starzomski. And that's 5 seconds left to go in the penalty to the Cougars. Here comes Keegan Johnson for one last chance. Johnson shoots. And that was right into the belly of Keenan Marks. With 1 second left to go in the penalty to the Cougars. And it looks like they've dodged another bullet here early in the third period. 14:48 left to go in the third period. Sault College 3 and Minnesota 1. McLeod, Blonda, Santa Maria, and Wood trying to get this last part of the penalty killed off. And nice play to win that draw. Lemke with Wood, 2-on-2. Lemke, nice play there. Lemke was checked from behind by Kuba. And Kuba starts out with the puck slowly coming out of his own zone. Long pass to nobody. And Brody McLeod will get it out. Back comes Kuba. Shoots, and that one off a leg wide. Kuba has, that's number 8, Margol. Battling with the puck, squirts loose. Blonda couldn't get by Kuba, and the puck is on the stick of Brody. Long pass for Caleb Wood. And Grayhack wrote his player off, but they're going to call it offside. And the referee talking statistics with number 17, Brock Santa Maria, as he goes off to the bench. 14:02 left to go in the third period. Sioux College 3 and Minnesota 1. Jonah DeRoger has it for Sioux College. He falls in behind his own goal. Mogren back to the point. Torlot shoots it, and that was blocked in front of the goal. Back comes DeRoger, coming through center. On the far side to Mitchell Moore. And Moore got his stick up on Tortolot. Kept in by Zimbaro. And Moore will give it back to DeRoger, who fires it back in. Will Anderson to Tate Tortolot. Tortolot coming through center, and he just dumps it in. It could be icing. And that will be icing on Minnesota as Tortolot, thinking he should have taken one more step before he shot it in. 13:18 left to go in the third period. Sioux College 3 and Minnesota 1. Face-off will be to the right of the Minnesota goal. Jameis, LaValle, Kovacs up front for the Cougars. And back comes number 10. That's Noah Mogren around Starzomski, who got a piece of him and knocked him off the puck. LaValle, he was checked from the side by Hatfield. McDonald dodges his players and hands it off to Jameis, who gives it to LaValle. Dumps it in. Kovacs. And that's Engelbrecht. Kept in by Starzomski to Blonda, who dumps it in. Jameis in front of the net, looking for LaValle. Back comes Noah Mogren, one-on-one with Blonda. Starzomski left it there for Engelbrecht. Back. There's a shot, and that one off the stick and the goalpost. There was a shot by Noah Mogren, and the Cougars dodge another bullet. Arneson shoots, that stopped. Puck comes out. Another shot, that stopped. And LaValle was tackled on the near side. Puck comes out to Engelbrecht. To Cooper Cerrone. Shoots! That's blockered away by Marks. Cougars can't get the puck out. Peterson wraps it around the boards. Blonda. Checked there by Arneson. Blonda. And Arneson. Arneson comes out with the puck. Peterson gives it to Arneson. Oh, and he was looking for Engelbrecht. Peterson with a shot, and he ripped it wide. What a chance that was for Minnesota. And finally, Jameis gets it out. Kovacs with a breakaway. Kovacs shoots. And he's stopped by Peterson. Holy cow, where did Jacob Kovacs come from? Talk about speed. And Kovacs could have put it out of reach. DeRocher from the net. And that went by everybody. Dylan Windsor pounds it back in, but it stopped. Ethan Peterson. And Zimbaro has it for Sioux College. Could be a break. Marks coming out, plays it. Marks, where is it? Holy cow. Keenan Marks, way out of position. And got away with it. Cloud out into the center ice area. And I'm not sure why the whistle went there, but it did. I don't know why it went. Nonetheless, the whistle went. 10 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in the third period. Sioux College 3 and Minnesota 1. Holy cow, what a chance that was for the Sioux College Cougars. Coming out of nowhere, number 72, Jacob Kovacs. But he could not beat Owen Peterson. Will Anderson to Keegan Johnson. Around DeRocher. Johnson shoots. And Keenan Marks. Rock solid for the Sioux College Cougars once again. Will Engel and Chase Johnson saying hello to each other inside the Sioux College zone. And they're going to send them both off after all the shenanigans have gone on. They're going to send them both off. Johnson and Engel will sit in the box for 2 minutes or less. Check that. That'll be 2 minutes total as they can't come out. And the face-off will come to the right of the Sault College Cougars goal. 10:39 left to go in the third period. Sault College 3 and Minnesota 1. Wardell, Novello, and number 26, Liam McDonald, Starzomski for Sault College. Bishop back to the point. Tyler Bishop coming to the center to Meyer. Meyer into Brunner. Brunner on Meyer. Shoots! Oh, on a right pad save by Keegan Marks as the seas parted, and he probably could have went in closer. And Keegan Johnson will have to come back and get the puck for Minnesota. Cav Brunner. That pass was behind Tyler Bishop. So Tay Tortolod will be there first to get the puck. Number 2 overskated the puck. Sloppy play by Minnesota a few times here in the third period. Here comes Engelbrecht coming to the center. And it's poked away nicely by number 2, McLeod. Arneson, small but shifty. Back to the point, Cerrone shoots, and that one off a skate wide of the goal. DeRoche, long pass to Cameron Lemke. Caleb Wood has it, and he is knocked off the puck. Good play by Cerrone to knock his player off the puck, but checked by Lemke. Lemke trying to get the puck in front of the goal. Caleb Wood, front of the net, and O'Butt has the puck for Minnesota. Too far ahead. Owen Peterson pounces on the puck. 5:55 left to go in the third period. Sault College 3 and Minnesota 1. Time becoming an enemy for Minnesota as they need goals, and they need them quickly. Face off to the left of the Minnesota goal. Keegan Johnson. The big line for Minnesota. Johnson, Bishop, and Meyer on the ice for Minnesota as they need goals. Long pass behind Engel, behind Johnson, and that's going to be icing. As Cerrone has some words with the Sault College bench. We'll see if anything comes of that in this last part of the game. 5:33 left to go in the third period. Sault College 3 and Minnesota 1. Zimbaro and Bishop on the draw. Bishop winning that one, and the puck comes inside the Sault College zone. Marks leaves it there. Little mishap there. Johnson shoots, scores! And some miscommunication there between the goaltender, Keegan Marks, and the Sault College Cougars forwards. And the puck ended up on the stick of Keegan Johnson. And we're in for a finish now, as the score is now Sault College 3 and Minnesota 2. So we'll see if that gives Minnesota some life, or can the Sault College Cougars answer back. Tortolot intercepted by Moore. Back comes Wedward. Over the line, Wedward shoots that one off the side of the goal. Hatfield trying to get it to the front of the net. Here comes Zimbaro coming through center to Moore. Moore shoots, and that's right on. And there's Chase Johnson going flying behind Owen Peterson through the crease. And it doesn't look like anything's going to come of this. 4:54 left to go in the third period. Sault College 3 and Minnesota 2. Should Minnesota not come back, they will be thinking about all the power plays they had in the second period and could not capitalize. Tortolot gives it back. That's Tyler Bishop in behind his own goal. Keegan Johnson, the goal scorer in the third period for Minnesota. Marks and Sale. Sale off the glass to Wood. He lost it. Meyer shoots. And that was a dangerous play by Luke Myers. And he was looking to tie the game. But Keenan Marks up to the task. 4:28 left to go in the third period. Sault College 3, Minnesota 2. Johnson trying to win that draw. And it comes back to Johnson, back to Bishop. Shoots, and that one off DeRoche wide of the goal. Luke Myers. Myers shoots, and he shot that wide. Johnson. Johnson, can he get it out? That's Chase Johnson. That's Dylan Windsor, number 5, has shot that down the ice. And that will be icing on the Sault College Cougars. 4:06 left to go in the third period. Sault College 3 and Minnesota 2. Johnson, Bishop, Myers up front for Minnesota, looking to tie the game here late in the third period. Myers with a quick chance off the draw, but it didn't get through. Dylan Windsor will dump it in high into the far corner. Cav Brunner will have it for Minnesota. Slowly coming out of his own zone. Rink wide pass too far ahead of Keegan Johnson and Tyler Bishop. Backhands it inside the Sault College zone. Brody McLeod. Windsor again. High into the rafters here at the Northern Community Center, and the whistle goes. 3:35 left to go in the third period. Minnesota trailing by a score of 3-2. Obutt and Jameis. Obutt winning that back to Peterson. Across to Engelbrecht. Big battle going on in front of the goal. Jameis and Obutt battling in front. And Jonah DeRoche will settle things down in behind the Sault College goal. DeRoche. Kovacs. Oh, and he fanned on that one. Here comes Bishop. And he couldn't make anything happen there, as that was not in the plans, as Kovacs couldn't get the puck out. Arneson shoots. He tried a short side shot, and that was blocked. Windsor fires that off the glass. Not out. Bishop back to the point. Shoots there by Cerrone. And that one missed its mark. Tortolot to Bishop. Bishop shoots. That one off to Roche. Windsor, he rips it down the ice, and that's going to be icing again on Sault College. And once again, Sault College cannot change their players, as they've been out for a long time. And Minnesota will send out the big line of Johnson, Bishop, and Myers. Tortolot and Brunner on defense. With 2:29 left to go in the third period. Sault College 3 and Minnesota 2. And wisely, Sault College has called their timeout, as their players have been on the ice for a long time and need a break. Keegan Johnson with a goal here in the third period, bringing Minnesota within a goal of tying the game, as they've never led in this game. Sault College Cougars have always been in the lead. And when it comes right down to it, you only have to be in the lead at the end of the third period. If you're in the lead at any other period, it doesn't necessarily matter. As long as you're in the lead at the end of period number 3. Windsor, Jameis, Kovacs, McLeod, and DeRoche for the Cougars. And the big line for Minnesota, Myers, Johnson, Bishop, Arneson, Engelbrecht. The goaltender is out for Minnesota, so it'll be 6-on-5. And we'll see if Minnesota can generate anything. So they're actually going to send. So Myers will come in against Jameis. Back to the point. Jameis to Windsor, and it's out. Arneson on the far side to Bishop. Bishop fires it in. McLeod all the way down. Is it going to go in? No, and it's just wide. And a race for the puck, and Jameis couldn't quite get there in time. And that will be icing on the Sault College Cougars. 2:12 left to go in period number 3. Liam McDonald and Brody McLeod, 2 defensive specialists for the Cougars, out to try and stop the 6-on-5. Puck comes Arneson, and he couldn't keep it in on a good work by Kovacs to get it out down the ice. Caleb Engelbrecht will come out for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Coming through center on the far side. That's Myers to Johnson. Johnson back to Engelbrecht. Johnson. Engelbrecht. There's a shot there by Myers. Rebound. Where's the puck? Another shot. And that was Obat that shot that. And that one didn't find the mark. Engelbrecht, the far side. Johnson back to Engelbrecht. Meyer to Johnson. Shoots. That was blocked in front. Meyer. Meyer on the far side. Bishop shoots right into the chest of Keenan Marks. And the Gophers have been zipping the puck back and forth all around, but they can't get the puck by Keenan Marks. So this time, the Minnesota Golden Gophers have called their timeout as they want their big line on the ice for the last minute and 13 seconds of the third period to try to negotiate the tying goal at minimum. Shot to a goal so far here tonight by Sault College 32 and by Minnesota 29. So pretty even shots on goal as Sault College had a big advantage early in the game, but Minnesota has fought back. Kovacs, Jameis, Lemke, Brody McLeod, and Jonah DeRoche for Sault College. And that puck comes back to the point. Engelbrecht over to Keegan Johnson. Engelbrecht shoots, and he shot that wide. Myers. Johnson. Across to Tyler Bishop. Back to Engelbrecht. Johnson shoots. That was blocked by Kovacs. Engelbrecht. Johnson. Engelbrecht shoots. Rebound. And it's knocked away by McLeod. Oh, but on the far side. Tried a short side shot. That was stopped by Marks. Engelbrecht. We're under a minute to go in the third period. Johnson. Back to Bishop. Shoots. That one off a stick. Kovacs was shoved. Arneson. Johnson with a shot, and he shot it wide. There's a trip. And there's going to be a penalty called on the Sault College Cougars. With 11.7 seconds left to go in the third period, the Sault College Cougars have been assessed a penalty. And it's going to be 6-on-4 in the last 11 seconds. As a fan watching the game, you can't ask for a more exciting finish than this. Down by 1, a 2-man advantage. With 11 seconds left to go, McLeod, Jameis, Santa Maria, and Starzomski. Another false start. The Lions are maybe watching the Ontario Hockey League as they won't drop the puck, as it's certainly prominent in that league, that they won't drop the puck. So we'll see if they can do it right this time. There's a nice play by McLeod to sweep it away. There's a shot by Johnson, blocked by McLeod. And it's fired away by Jameis. And that's going to do it. The Sault College Cougars fight off a late surge, and they defeat the Minnesota Golden Gophers by a score of 3-2. Backed by a pair of goals by Nick Jameis, and the Sault College Cougars prevail here this afternoon, and they even the 2-game series at 1 game apiece. A barrage of penalties in the second period. Sault College Cougars killed them all off, and Minnesota will be wondering if they could have capitalized on one of those goals, one of those penalties, and scored. It could have been a different outcome here this afternoon. But once again, the final score here this afternoon, the Sault College Cougars defeat the Minnesota Golden Gophers by a score of 3-2. Next action for the Sault College Cougars will be right here at the Northern Community Center tomorrow afternoon. Puck drop slated for 12 o'clock noon against Davenport. For the entire Sault College Cougars hockey team, my name is Mike Armitage. Thanks very much for watching, and good afternoon from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario.